It's been so long since I've done one of these that I've kind of forgotten like the flow that I used to have, which is also nice because the point is that I wanted to reflect back on 1 year. On June 1st last year, I had started this notebook and I was so excited. I was just so excited. It's a planner and I made a long video about it, which you'll find on my page, and talked about all of my planners and how this one was going to be really special because it is undated and I wanted to use it very particularly for my evenings, to organize my evenings, and also because it's starting June 1st and for me that's really special. I see it every single year that, because I've been working in fitness a long time too, that at the end of the year, people just slack off on everything. Fitness, diet, all the good things, even work. And it becomes really about like family and indulgence. And then January 1, new me, new year, new everything. And I love that time of the year. My birthday is then too. And there's just so much positive energy in the world. I can just feel like every single country is synchronized. Everybody has this fresh, new take. The numbers change, and it's just a really positive energy. I see it in all my classes. I see it with all of my clients. And for me, with birthday, it's different. And then culturally, it's really nice to see that different cultures celebrate New Year at different times. And there's also the spring awakening. But for some reason, people don't really celebrate summer as the beginning of something. And for me, it does feel like a major shift in energy. It may be just living in New York, like the days are just appreciably longer. And it's different. When it's warmer, we're different. Every person is different in every season. And I felt this creative start. I wanted to change. And for me, it's always about paper. I don't know how anybody does anything without pens and paper. So I had done also talked a lot about the pens that I was excited about at that time. And over a year of playing around with pens, paper, I realized, if you switch out a plastic pen for a metal pen, I wanted to reduce and actually not have any plastic in my life. If you're going to have a metal pen, it means that you're committing to one, investing some money in a good pen, and then also getting to learn the refills. So for my planner, I realized that 0.3 ink, and these are Atelia pens. I think that's how he pronounces it. The designer is very cool, and he's the one who had suggested to me to use 0.3 ink for planners. It's a very fine line, and these pens are really beautiful. I don't think he's making any more of them, so if you like them, you should order them now. This is aluminum, so it's super light, and it's black, so very cool. I also have the bronze and the raw aluminum pens from the same designer, and so I switched out the cap of this one, so I know there's blue ink inside of this, which is sometimes helpful to have. For me, it's actually very helpful to have two colors of ink that I'm working with. So if I'm writing, a couple of lines about one topic, practice goals, and then I'm switching to something else, what am I reading and how to be more focused in my reading and my studies, I switch colors. I don't often go back and read the writing, which is something else I wanted to talk about. That when I first started, I don't really want to read what I wrote a year ago, to be honest. But when I first started, I was in the mindset of reflect on the day, not realizing that what I really needed was perspective, right? To remember, in the morning you have, I think, a very clear idea of so much is possible, there's so much to do, and in the evening, it's very common because I teach evening classes, I think people just sort of run out of energy. For me, I don't run out of energy, I just get into some pattern of doing things. Like, oh, this is what's next, this is what's left, this is what I've been doing in the evenings. And when you want to change, you have to change your routines, you have to change your perspectives, you have to change the way you think, right? So that's what I did with this notebook. And I don't know if you can tell how beautiful this, I don't know, this feels very beautiful for me. But every single thing is filled in. It's just so nice. It's so nice to see the evolution inside of me, sort of. This was the toolkit for it. One of the things that I did was I used the calendar very well. I hope you can't read it, because it's yeah, I use the calendar very well. So there's a sidebar for notes about the whole month. And then inside of each page, inside of each box, I might write notes about like mood or mindset, basically. I think mood is a better way to say it. Whether I felt very clear, what goals I was working on just overall on that day. And then I did a lot of changes with my diet as well. And having the week-long and calendar-long view is super helpful to say, like, this week I was playing with this aspect of my diet and these are the changes I saw for positive or for negative, and it just made everything so much easier to change. So, you know, I just really liked the whole design of this, and I spent, I think it was like $12, and I bought 2 at the same time, so I'm gonna start the next one in a couple of days, but this is what it looks like in case you want to get one. This is not sponsored or advertised or anything like that. This is just Amazon, just from the heart. The other thing that I really loved about this notebook that I did not take advantage of yet is that the last few pages are just blank. Actually, this is dot grid. I don't know if you can tell that. Dot grid is, to me, just, I love it. You can write this way, you can write that way. It's so light, right? That's why it's hard for you to tell that there are dots. It's so light that when you write, you feel guided, but when you read it, you don't feel like it's in the way. I really don't like anything that's lined paper. It's just, I don't like being told what to do, you know, how to be. So this is the, I guess, this is the week that I haven't yet started. So what I would do is I started every week on Saturday, and I like the mobility, the flexibility of being able to choose how your week looks. You know, if you're corporate and you feel like your week starts on Monday, you know, you do that. But for me, I always felt like a big shift in energy always on Saturdays. People start acting different. My schedule is different. And then there's just a very natural flow. And then what I would do, I love that there's 8 boxes. On this one, I would have just a sort of weekly recap on Fridays. And it just, every single week for this past year, for Friday, I would just spend a moment like, how was this week? And I can't tell you how beautiful and beneficial that was. And will continue to be. This is one of the practices I'm going to keep going. Not all of the projects I start, I think, are forever. Some of them are just great for, you know, a year or a few months, just for organization. But this one I wanted to share with you. I think it's fantastic. And the brightness that I felt, like that super excitement, so passionate for last year. And then I feel like this is just so calm, so serene in terms of subtlety. And I feel that. You know, I feel that inside of me as well, and I wish that for you as well. The joy, the serenity, the peace, and just for you to be able to make all of your dreams come true. Yeah. Stay well, stay blessed.